10 years ago, being bad with money looked obvious. It looked like gambling your paycheck away, buying a sports car you couldn't afford, maxing out credit cards on things you didn't need. But in 2026, the most dangerous financial mistakes look completely normal. They look like food delivery, monthly subscriptions, new phones, concert tickets, self-care, convenience, and millions of people are slowly draining their future without realizing they've been trapped inside one giant system designed to separate them from their money. Right now, there are people making six figures, living paycheck to paycheck, not because they are lazy, because modern life became a financial scam disguised as convenience. And the worst part? Most people won't figure this out until they're completely stuck. So today, we're breaking down the 10 most overpriced things people keep wasting money on in 2026 and why smart people are quietly walking away from them. And trust me, the last one is probably destroying more financial futures than anything else on this list. If you've noticed prices getting completely out of control where you live, comment your city below. I want to see which places are becoming impossible to survive in. Let's start with the biggest scam of modern convenience: food delivery apps. There was a time when delivery apps actually saved people money. Companies were throwing out discounts, free delivery, promo codes, because they weren't trying to make profits yet. They were trying to build addiction. And it worked. Now people casually spend $30 on a burrito without even thinking about it. Open your app right now and actually look at the breakdown. Delivery fee, service fee, small order fee, priority fee, tip, hidden menu markup. You're not paying for food anymore. You're paying convenience tax every time you're too tired to drive 5 minutes. And here's what makes this dangerous. Tiny data conveniences become massive wealth destruction over time. Spending an extra $20 a day doesn't feel life-changing. But that's over $7,000 a year. That's a vacation, an emergency fund, an investment account. Most people aren't broke because of one huge mistake. They are broke because of invisible leaks. And speaking of invisible leaks, nothing destroys wealth faster in America right now than new cars. The average new car payment is now around $750 a month. Some people are paying over $1,000 just to commute to work. And banks solve the affordability problem in the most dangerous way possible. Longer loans, 7-year loans, 8-year loans. Imagine paying interest for nearly a decade on something losing value every single day. People used to buy cars to drive. Now they buy cars to signal status. And financially, that decision can quietly ruin your future. Because if someone invested that same $750 monthly into the market for 30 years, they could end up with over $1 million. That's the part nobody talks about. Every flashy car has a hidden price tag, future freedom. And companies know most people won't think that far ahead. That's why the next trap became so profitable. Phones. Every year, tech companies convince millions of people their perfectly working phone is suddenly outdated. New camera, slightly brighter screen, one new button nobody asked for. That's it. We've reached a point where most people genuinely cannot tell the difference between flagship phones anymore. But companies stopped selling technology years ago. Now they sell identity. People upgrade because they want to feel current, relevant, included, and that feeling is expensive. The average person upgrades their phone long before they actually need to. Meanwhile, smart consumers are keeping devices for 4, 5, even 6 years and investing the difference. Because wealthy people understand something most consumers don't. Looking rich and becoming rich are completely different games. And nowhere is that more obvious than investing itself. Wall Street mastered one thing better than almost any industry on earth: making expensive things sound intelligent. That's why millions of people still hand over their retirement accounts to actively manage funds charging 1%, sometimes even more. 1% sounds tiny, until you realize that fee compounds against you every single year for decades. And historically, most professional fund managers still fail to beat simple low-cost index funds. Imagine paying premium prices for worse results. That's modern finance in one sentence. If you're getting value from this video so far, and the next one might be the most manipulative industry of all: wellness. Modern wellness culture convinced people that health is something you buy. Expensive powders, luxury gyms, $500 ice baths, designer workout clothes, $20 smoothies. But real health has always been painfully simple. Sleep, water, walking, real food, consistency. That's it. The industry makes billions by convincing people there's a shortcut, because shortcuts sell better than discipline. And while people are busy buying fake optimization, their real stress is usually financial, which leads to one of the biggest lies millennials and Gen Z were ever told, that owning a home is always the smartest financial decision. 10 years ago, that was often true. Today, in many cities, the math completely changed. Some people are spending thousands more every month to own instead of rent, while pretending it's automatically an investment. And emotionally, home ownership became dangerous because people stopped treating it like math. They treat it like identity, like adulthood, success, proof they made it. But if owning costs dramatically more than renting, and you're barely surviving every month, you don't own the house. The house owns you. And honestly, that same psychology explains almost every financial mistake on this list. Status, designer clothes, VIP tables, luxury vacation for Instagram, bottle service, Coachella, buying things purely so other people can see them. People are going broke trying to look financially successful, which is terrifying because actual wealthy people usually do the opposite. Real wealth is invisible. It's freedom, options, time, peace of mind, the ability to walk away from a job you hate. Even cheap things stop being cheap. Fast food used to exist for one reason: value. Now a basic meal can cost nearly the same as real restaurant food. The quality stayed mediocre. The portions shrank. The prices exploded. The entire value proposition disappeared. And finally, the last item, concerts. This one perfectly explains what happened to modern consumer culture. People now spend hundreds, sometimes thousands, for one night of entertainment. A single concert can now cost the same as a small vacation. And people still justify it because modern culture runs on one powerful emotion: fear of missing out. That's the real business model now. Not products, emotions. Companies realize they don't need to sell people things anymore. They just need to sell convenience, status, validation, identity, escape. That's why everything suddenly feels overpriced. Because you're no longer paying for the product itself. You're paying for how it makes you feel. And once you understand that, you start buying differently. You stop asking, how much does this cost? And start asking, how much of my life am I trading for this? That question changes everything. Because in 2026, making money isn't enough anymore. Keeping it is the real flex. If you enjoyed this video, watch the next one right now about why the middle class is disappearing faster than anyone expected.